perfect timing. Akash, you joined in. We are going to chat about Royal Challengers Bangalore, who had 8 crores as their purse, right? 8.75 crores. The Royal Challengers Bangalore Twitter handle posted mini auction maximum impact with the 7 players. So, Akash, walk us through what did you make out of your squad selection?
Honestly, going into the auction with just 8.75, I don't think any RCB fan would have had much of a hope as in getting somebody like a Cameron Green or a Stokes or somebody like that. That would have been really unrealistic. I remember seeing Purval's, WhatsApp message in the group wherein he said, "Why not Green, Stokes, or other thing?" It was hilarious. But frankly, with 8.75, I think this is a decent job which they have done, especially considering the fact that I remember Adi messaging the same day saying that why not you guys go for somebody like at base plus of 20 lakhs or something like that. But later towards the end of it, we came to know that they actually had plans to pick few youngsters who they actually had scouted. If you look at somebody like an Avinash Singh, he's not played anywhere, not even at a domestic level. Not he just started playing leather ball cricket only 10 months back. So there are multiple scouting, agendas which RCB carries. They have a group for overseas scouting. They have a group for domestic level scouting, and they have one more group which actually does base level scouting, where they don't have to go into domestic cricket at all. So Avinash Singh, they claim is somebody like like an Umran Malik, who's absolutely quick, and just started playing leather cricket recently. So if you look at those terms, I think it was a decent auction. My only disappointment I would be is they could have gone for an Indian spinner. Uh, I was gunning for them to go for a number 5. They did start going for Manish Pandey, but again, I think they didn't want to spend too much since they had Will Jacks at the back of their mind as a backup for Maxwell. So I think probably Shahbaz or Lomro will play number 5. With that in the mind, I think one piece which they could have filled, I believe, is a leg spinner, which they could have probably gone for Shreyas Gopal or even Morgan Ashwin or even Amit Mishra for that matter. Doesn't matter. So why not have an extra leg spinner along with Wanindu Hasaranga, just in case Wanindu is out of form or just gets injured, to just fit him in there. So that was the only disappointment which I had. Will Jacks is an unknown commodity for most of them, but going by the like for like concept, I think that's where they picked him. Although I'm not sure if he is a number 4 player. He generally opens or goes one down, I think, in domestic or in the 100 back in England. But at number 4 or 5, I'm not too sure how he's going to perform. But yeah, at 8.75, I think they did decently well.
Youngsters' point of view, I did see the Twitter handy also posting a lot of updates about why they picked somebody like Himanshu Sharma, why they picked somebody like Sonu Yadav, because they were either in the nets or they've been supporting in the background for a long time, which is good. But from area of concerns point of view, we also exchanged few things about Manish Pandey. Why do you strongly feel Manish Pandey would have fit the bill? Because his strike rate has not been great in the past few seasons, and he's been floated around, especially with Sunrisers number 3, 4, 5, and nowhere he was clicked. Do you think he's past prime, or you were just looking at an Indian batter to support middle order?
I think primarily it will be for an Indian batter, and considering the amount of experience he has, and if we give a specific role to him, like how we have given to DK. So coming at number 5, very rarely you'll find yourself say playing say 10 to 12 overs if the top order does a good job. So if you give him a specific role and maybe like how DK does, go there, just play 15 balls and try and hit out there as much as you can. I think that could have worked out considering that he's an experienced Indian batsman, and to add to it, he's a gun fielder. So your fielding asset actually improves with one of the areas being covered by Manish himself. Uh, that was one of the reasons why we wanted to go for Manish. But again, I think the think tank thinks in a way that probably Shahbaz or Lomror with the left-handed batting approach can fit in the bill at number 5. That can give a bit of a difference in the top right-handed circuit which is going on.
I think, see, RCB without much contribution from Kohli has been doing well for the last couple of seasons, right? When Kohli was out of form. Now with Kohli in form, I think RCB looks really good. I mean, and as far as the auction is concerned, I think Reece Topley was one of the best buys of this auction. I would say, if you consider all the parameters, the value for money, a left armer 6'5", has done well in England, in India before. I think it's a fantastic buy. Complete steal at 1.9 CR. I don't like David Willey for I don't know what reasons, but perfect left armor. If Hazelwood is not there, Topley is probably can be a game changer. Completely agreed with Akash. They forgot to fill up the spinner spot, and the what has happened. BCCI has thrown a googly here. Everybody was thinking Ashes, English players not available, Australian players not available. As of today, the BCCI communication states Australian players available for the entire season. Sri Lankan players not available for the initial few matches. So when Hasaranga does not play, then who's your spinner? So Mr. Trick by not going for Adil Rashid, Zampa, at least you would have gone for anybody, Mishra, Shreyas Gopal. They needed a leg spinner. When Hasaranga is not there, that will be an issue for them. And completely agreed with Akash. Manish Pandey was required. See, all these players, Maxi can hit out, DK, Shahbaz. Manish Pandey, could have given that solidity to the middle order. Impact player. Everybody thinks ki impact player तब use होगा when you need an aggressive player. एकदम से run rate बढ़ाना है. What about when you are 30 for 4, 30 for 3? At that time, I don't think a DK is the right option. You get an impact player in, na? You get Manish Pandey to stabilize the innings and then keep DK for the last 15-20 balls. So I think Kohli in form much more important than what they've bought at the auction. Topley probably one of the best buys of the auction, and negative they missed picking up a spinner.
Sanjay and Ravee, Manish Pandey, there were a lot of shake of heads.
मनीष पांडे बिल्कुल अच्छा हुआ आरसीबी ने लिया नहीं. आई एम टेलिंग यू विद एक्सपीरियंस with LSG and last 2 seasons. He comes in at any situations, he goes at 100 strike rate. Whatever situation, number 4, number 5, open, kahin bhi khila lo, he goes the same way. So he'll end up costing you 2-3 matches. If at all, he ends up maybe winning one or two matches. I think the biggest problem for RCB would be that they are playing in Chinnaswamy. The last 3-4 years, they have played elsewhere and it suited them, and they should have ideally won a tournament. Just like Delhi Capitals should have won a tournament, RCB and Delhi Capitals benefited from the IPL being held in UAE and in Mumbai primarily. So now would be the big challenge, whether they can sustain, playing at Chinnaswamy where the record is poor, and Delhi as well doesn't suit their style of play. So whereas Chennai would completely benefit from playing 7 games at the Chepauk, and they would easily be at the top 5 for sure. Bangalore and Delhi Capitals are the ones which will probably struggle. So I think, from whatever they've bought, they've done very well with finishing top 3 in previous season.
Ravee and Adi, any chances of playoffs?
So first of all, Akash, be happy that Manish Pandey has not been picked by RCB, because we have seen RCB going for this old big names so many times and flopped. Okay, what RCB has done, I think this is the best auction for RCB ever. Okay, I can name you, because they have not gone for big money. They have not gone for the 8 crores spent on one player or completely. Okay, they have done that before, where they have spent the entire 8 crores on one single player and they have not been doing anything. What they have done, they have found out a replacement for Josh Hazelwood with Topley, and they have found a perfect replacement for Maxwell also. So here Maxwell and Josh Hazelwood problem is sorted. Faf is going to play any which ways the entire tournament, irrespective of whether he's going to be in form or not. Even if he's out of form, they can play Will Jacks there, if both Maxwell and Will Jacks is available. He can fill the opening slot. If it's needed, Faf can come 2 down or 3 down also. That is also possible. Okay, and you got your Topley to play in, say, pitches like Mumbai. Topley and Hazelwood will definitely kill the entire match. Okay, that is something which they have done really well. And good they didn't go for Manish Pandey. Imagine, and they would have not got other good players which you got, like Sonu Yadav. Sonu Yadav is a very good player. He's from Osur only. So he's also a very good player, and a lot of good youngsters. Manolan has done a very good job. Lomror and your Patidar are from that scouting team only. So they did well, right? So I think they have trusted the scouting team, and that's what they have won. If they had gone for Manish Pandey, they would have gone 5 years behind. RCB has done really a good job. This is the best RCB auction that has ever had.
Yeah, I'd actually agree with what Ravi has said. But one problem for RCB, what I see is they haven't found like spinners who would do well, especially in Chinnaswamy. Like Chahal was a big reason why they did really well while they were in Chinnaswamy. Now I don't know if like this Lone or Shahbaz Ahmed bowling in Chinnaswamy on that small ground, teams will pick them apart. Is what I feel. You need a high quality spinner. I was very surprised when they didn't go after Zampa, Adil Rashid, or anyone. Like it's not like bidding.
Why do they need Zampa and Adil Rashid when Hasaranga is doing their? That's what I mean.
No, Hasaranga is there, but you need one more, is what I'm saying. Because
But Hasaranga is not there for the initial few matches now.
But he'll come back.
First 4 matches.
He'll be
Agreed,
back.
but fine. You lose 3 matches, you lose first 3 matches, then the momentum is gone.
Yeah. So I mean, Hasaranga is there, but Ravi, like no backup is what I'm saying. Like no, not even previously you had like Chahal and then there's one more backup or something, spinner. No backup.
Last time also they didn't have the backup, right?
Karan Sharma
didn't have the backup.
Karan Sharma is there. So I'm like,
Karan Sharma is there. No, yeah, Karan Sharma is there. The GOAT of IPL who has won 3 IPLs back to back.
Yeah, lucky mascot. But the mascot chain was broken by RCB, right? Like everywhere else he won the trophy, but he didn't win in like RCB itself. But jokes aside, I think the problem is if let's say Hasaranga gets injured or he's not available, something like you don't have a like for like replacement, and you could have easily bought it. Like for example, Rajasthan was smart. They bought Zampa for 1.5 crores. They don't need him. You got Ashwin, you got Chahal. They don't need him. But they're like, okay, if you're getting like a high quality spinner for a cheap price, you could have taken that as a backup, right? And you never know. You could play both. Like Hasaranga is a bats also, so he's more versatile. And maybe in the combinations you figure out that, hey, I can play Hasaranga and Zampa, and they do really well. You never know, right?
The reason they couldn't have gone for an overseas spinner because they had to fill 2 backups, one for Maxwell and one for Josh Hazlewood. So there was no slot left for a overseas spinner. There is where I think they could have used some technique to buy an Indian spinner like a Gopal or maybe even Mishra or somebody like that. I think I completely agree with your point. Chinnaswamy, you need a quality leg spinner for sure. Whether Hasaranga plays or doesn't play, if Shahbaz would have played at 5, they could have easily fit in one more leg spinner out there. Playing 2 spinners together is not a crime. In fact, it's a benefit. So at Chinnaswamy, I think a quality leg spinner actually is important.
Akash, you tell me, will you play Shreyas Gopal in the 11 as a replacement for Hasaranga? You honestly tell me. With Karan Sharma.
Not as a
He'll come as a backup. He'll come as an impact player. That's the point.
You have Karan Sharma as a backup. So would you play Shreyas Gopal ahead of Karan Sharma on this?
Yes. I would play Shreyas Gopal ahead of Karan Sharma only because of the fact that at Chinnaswamy, you need batting as lengthier as possible. So with Hasaranga and Gopal both playing in the 11 and the batting lineup going up till 9, it is a much more secure strategy is what I feel.
And also you could get them right, like with the impact player rule, you could have like one bowler complete and then you could have like a decent bowler coming in. Now you're like, oh, Karan Sharma is your replacement. Or I would rather have a tried and tested, like right now they are not doing that well. Like Nadeem is there or Piyush Chawla, Amit Mishra, they all got base prices or unsold. You could get them, you could keep them, you could try for a few matches. If they work, fine. If they don't work, it's also fine. But now they don't have that option. Now you have to go to Karan Sharma, Shahbaz, Lomror. I don't know.
Plus,
like how
Gopal's record at Chinnaswamy is actually sterling at domestic level, and even when he has played for other teams and come against RCB, he's bowled really well at Chinnaswamy. So in that sense, I think Gopal would have been a very good pick for RCB.
Not just Chinnaswamy, right? So he's played for Jaipur or he has bowled taken wickets of Kohli and ABD regularly, right? So he's also decent. He's good batter as well. That's the only point I felt both RCB and CSK could have gone. And not just them, Will Jacks also, right? Even though he's a great pick, I would say, because he's proven in 100 and he's also done recently well in Pakistan. I was surprised that RCB didn't go for either someone like Mohammad Nabi or Sikandar Raza, because they were cheap. They were kind of fit the bill when Maxwell is not there.
But they have 2 overseas slots, no?
Yeah, I'm just saying that Will Jacks was picked up before that. So probably they went for it, and since
all the more they went with the plan, Syed. That's what I'm trying to say. So all the more they went with the plan, which they have never been. They have always been like they were going.
And they were also smart enough to raise their hand for everyone till they attained that 8 crores, so that they made sure that it was going above 8 crores, so that nobody of these big players are picked up before that, which I felt is good.
Yeah, like I think with RCB for 15 crores, no, last time small auction, and he was a dud. Now he's gone for 1 crore. So those sort of mistakes they haven't made, fundamental mistakes, which is right.
Yeah, correct.
No, they did not have any scope to commit that mistake. See, I think the problem with RCB is going to be what what Dubey Saab said, that last 3 years they reached playoffs only because they were not playing at Chinnaswamy. Now they are back to Chinnaswamy. So will it be the 2018 wala RCB? That is the challenge. I mean, last 3 years
It
they
all depends
qualified.
on the pitch they are going to make, right? So they have bowlers like Topley and Hazlewood, and also they have decent domestic players also, like Akash, the Siraj is there, and if they have a decent pitch which might assist swing and paces a bit, I think it could be good for them. Go for a very low scoring pitch like recent years they had, because everyone was scoring about 200. They might as well need players like Chahal to bring them back to the game, which they don't have currently. That's the only thing. They can better go. I think it's better plan to go for a high scoring venue rather than a low scoring.
So the low purse helped, blessing in disguise. Balance side still is there, and a couple of backups are there. So the big area of focus or concern is playing at home. Unfortunately, is against them because of the squad combination. But Akash, overall, I think you should be pretty pleased with where the team's standing. Any final concerns of reaching to the playoffs?
The reason we retained most of the players was because the squad was good. They played well last year as well. Just that when it comes to crunch games, they just kind of step back. I think if they can pit, with Kohli in form again, I think that is one big plus point. But yeah, as Sanjay mentioned, playing at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, that is the biggest concern. If we can manage that with the bowling unit which we have, I think playoffs should be good enough.